here's something I was thinking about as you're talking about. You're saying that therapy is not a thing that like you've had much familiarity with and such.
Mm, mm, mm.
This is something I've heard from so many of my West African friends in particular, by the way.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"What? What is this? You know, like why? Like why? What is the whole thing?" And I
Yeah.
have come to this thought that honestly,
Mm,
therapy has a value. Certainly, I do think it's
mm,
something. But when you are like a person who is from a different continent, as we are, where we are
mm,
based,
mm,
if you are from a different culture, if you have
mm,
you may not be able to have like therapy in that local context that makes
mm,
much sense for you.
mm.
But therapy is support. It's help that that
Definitely.
person needs. And I think how a culture or how a place defines that or approaches that or creates that, it's going to be very, very different.
Mm,
I find that, it's from something when I came, remember once when I went back home, I'm from Detroit. I
mm,
went back home and I hadn't been to church in a long time, I have to say. But I went there and it was a situation thing. Somebody's kid had gotten killed or something, I think.
mm,
And the mom was crying there and such people were laying hands on her and, and praying.
mm, mm,
And I realized that's therapy. For her,
mm.
that is 100% what that is. Like
Sure, sure.
in that context,
Mm,
if you that period of letting things go and crying
mm,
and processing that whole situation and all that stuff, for her, that
mm,
church was her therapy.
mm,
Other times it might be you go and you talk to your auntie, talk to your
mm.
auntie or, like a grandma figure or something like that. And that's therapy, like from where I'm from in many ways, because you may not have like the financial resources or the access
Mm,
to, formal therapy. But I think
mm,
cultures have different approaches to it, but there has to be some way where you can be seen, where you can be acknowledged, where you can get support, where you can feel loved and accepted, where you can, get wisdom and input and things like this. And how that's packaged in different places is going to look very, very different, in my opinion. But every culture in that sense has some kind of therapy. It's just not always, not like sitting in an office for everybody, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
exactly. I think you have a really, really good point there, you know, because like you said, culturally, it's not like we don't from Africa, it's not like we don't have this, as you're explaining it now, as you're breaking it down, right? In Africa, we actually have therapy according to your explanation. And I can feel that that is exactly what has helped us also and continue to help us to this day. Okay, maybe we don't just call it therapy,
Mm,
but it is what it is therapy,
yeah.
right? Where your family, relatives, they are all involved in our lives. Okay, we have these issues, we share with them. They give us genuine advice, and these are people that really, really care about you, right? So, and they want you to succeed. They want you to, to survive, that sort of thing. So in my case, I think it's fair to say that, of course, like when, for example, when the issue of my wife here accident happened, um, the only thing that helped me um, was my younger sisters. They were calling. We were talking almost every day. Okay. Apart from other physical things that I do that also kind of put me in the zone that, um blocks of a lot of like emotions that are not like very energizing and stuff like that. My sisters, they were very, very involved. They were calling, they were talking to me, we cried together. I remember my sister calling me crying. Just because she was crying, I started crying. And that was it. And if there's anything I miss here, right, in terms of that therapy thing, and that is because when people are not outsiders, because some people that knows exactly the situation with my wife, and me being there for her, just even with our business also kind of went down because she's very active in the business, right? We lost a lot of money, and she was in the hospital for a very, very long time. So some people that knows about the situation, what we're dealing with at the time, what I'm dealing with at the time, actually when they see me and ask me, Kingsley, how you holding on? Like, I'm proud of you. So when they begin to say these things, I feel like crying, and that is the time I feel like, okay, someone is actually, acknowledging the effort that I'm putting and the situation that I am in and stuff like that. So, and then of course you look at the immediate, I guess, extended family here. They never even ask how you doing, like how you keeping, like they never even do that. And even till Subi was in the hospital, she came. Um, it becomes such that when they ask me like, so what's going on and like this, I said I'm fine. I'll be happy if you guys would just ask me how I'm doing, because that seems to be like really, really difficult. And they never do. So I think that is different people also might need this therapy in a different form or a different way. But I think like as you just cleverly sort of, explain this, I think it's not just going to office and sitting down, someone staring at your face and asking you how you feeling, um, waiting for you to say one word and stuff. But it's more like, even friends also, talking to you, sharing thoughts with you, giving you some advice, how you can let off things and stuff like that. For me, I find that very empowering.
It is. And as we were saying, like, even at the beginning, like, connection being the most important thing.
Mm,
I think if there's any way like you could have integrated therapy in the sense of like have something where it reconnects you with the people, like being
mm,
connected with the people around you, actually connected with them. That's
mm,
that is something that's restorative. That's something that recharges you. That's something that gives you something that allows you to get through whatever in that sense. But it's the hardest thing. It is the hardest thing
mm.
to be isolated or to be alone. And I think that's the hardest situation um, where
I agree.
you know to
Mm,
go through those things, but to feel that you're alone while going through those things is the worst. I am so grateful you've got your sisters. I'm so grateful that you do have people in your life who check up on you, who care about you, and this sort of thing. It's it's important to make certain that you build in those moments to have that recharge time.
definitely.
Even if you are the super strong person who's doing all kinds of things and such, you know, everybody needs to have that
Definitely.
time, that care.
Definitely. I can't agree more.